The new Black Templars codex is out, and whilst I don't yet have the book, I want to talk about 3 combos that look pretty scary so far to me, and that I plan to make use of at some point in the future during 10th edition. The first one is the Emperor's Champion. This guy has been beefed up just a little bit. He's looking super intimidating, super scary, like a real character assassin. He's now hitting in melee with 6 strength 8 attacks at AP 3, damage 3, anti-character 5, precision. And he has a once a game ability to give himself basically devastating wounds in combat, which is where his anti-character 5 comes in, because there's not really a reason for him to have anti-character 5. There's very few instances where he's going to actually be punching something tough enough that he's going to get any benefit from that for the wound roll. But what it does mean is that on 5s and 6s, you'll get critical wounds, which will trigger the devastating wounds. So I picked up on this and I was having a look at what detachments will kind of give him the best rules opportunities, the best stratagem opportunities and enhancements. And in the Godhammer Task Force detachment, that's the transport themed one, there is a enhancement called Paragon of Fury for 25 points, which will give him +2 strength to his melee weapon and +1 damage to his melee weapon if he disembarked from a transport this turn. So not only is this going to give him a strike profile at damage 4 and a sweep profile at damage 2, he's going to be strength 10 on his strike profile, and I think strength 8 for the sweep. And as if the strength wasn't enough, if we choose the Templar vow, accept any challenge no matter the odds, if he's hitting anything that is toughness 10 or higher with that strength profile, then he's going to get +1 to wound against it. Let's say we put our champion in a squad of 5 assault intercessors. He's now going to share their unit ability, which is to reroll 1s to wound in combat and reroll all wounds if you're on an objective. So for 275 points, we grab an impulsor to complete the combo. If they get out of that impulsor in any turn and successfully make a charge against a character unit, which is also standing on an objective, he is going to get 6 attacks hitting on 2s, wounding most infantry on 2s, and wounding anything up to toughness 19 on 4s. 5s will trigger critical wounds, and he'll be able to reroll all the wound dice if you want to fish for more 5s, because all 5s and 6s are going to be devastating wounds of 4 damage each, and everything else that successfully wounds goes through at -3 and is still damage 4. Alternatively, he can make 10 strength 8 attacks at damage 2, and he's got a really good chance of wiping a unit by himself of kind of like marine equivalent infantry. And all of this is happening before your 5 assault intercessors get their chainswords out and the power fist out. Like, there's just a ridiculous amount of damage for one character to put out, especially with precision. He's going to be pretty good at carving up tanks. He's probably going to be able to kill just about any Space Marine Captain equivalent style character. And he's probably going to be able to bracket, maybe even kill some Chaos Knights, Imperial Knights, Greater Demons, the really big monsters of the setting that have super high toughness and a lot of wounds. Second combo that I want to talk about is Crusader squads as a fast-moving objective securing unit. Now, I've seen quite a lot of people online saying that they do not like Crusader squads this edition, especially for the points. They think that the rules change is mid and they don't like how much it costs to put them on the table. I've seen quite a few people say, I'm just going to run them as assault intercessors. It's a better unit to have. So I really wanted to figure out a way of making them feel powerful. And I think the way to do this is not with their damage output or their durability, it's with the movement and the utility that they can bring. So this is a squad who, when they take a casualty in shooting, can move d6 +2 inches in their opponent's actual shooting phase. It's a reactive move. They have to end the move as close as possible to the closest enemy unit, but it's still potentially a good chunk of movement that you can get out of them. So to capitalize on this additional movement, I thought we would turn this squad into track stars. If we use the Uphold the Honor of the Emperor vow, we're able to advance them, they can still perform actions, and they're also going to get sticky objectives. But I'm not done, we can make them even faster. Let's say we take the Wrathful Procession Detachment. Each battle round we can now choose to give them +2 inches to their movement and +1 to their advance. Or at the start of our battle round, if we've already got them where we want them to be, we can instead give them a 5+ invulnerable save, just to give them a little bit of extra defense. If you still think that Crusader squads aren't going going to be worth it for this idea, you can actually apply this to assault intercessors or regular intercessors and just have a smaller squad doing the same kind of thing, being almost as fast. They're just not going to have access to that reactive movement in the enemy's turn. There's also plenty of characters that can improve how killy they are, improve how durable they are. I don't really think that a character would bring more value to this squad if you're just going to be using the squad to launch itself up the table as fast as possible. But for context, your Marine's going to be moving 8 inches with an advance roll of d6 plus 1 for an average of 4, so 12 inches of movement in your movement phase, and then d6 plus 2 for probably an average of 5 inches of movement in the enemy shooting phase if they kill one of your models. They're going to be able to advance and still perform actions, and I just think that whilst going for this combo obviously means that you can't take some of your other damage kind of rules, I just think it would be hilarious to have big bricks of Templars sprinting across the table at this kind of speed, as well as being genuinely quite a meaningful way of scoring your objectives. Thirdly, last, we have Sword Brethren. Now, Sword Brethren, for a lot of people, including me, they feel a little bit toned down from last edition. It's a bit of a shame that they don't have their +1 damage / +1 attack rule that they got to choose beforehand that made people like Helbrecht terrifying. And their special rule is okay, but I'm not actually going to be talking about it at all. The good news is that whilst they lost access to that +1 damage thing, they do all actually have mastercrafted power weapons anyway. So they are damage 2, they just don't give +1 damage to any attached characters. So it's good that our Sword Brethren, damage 2 now. All of the mastercrafted power weapons also come with lethal hits, which really helps them hit up and punch up against bigger, tougher units. So how do we get the absolute most out of them? Well, if we attach a Marshal to the squad, not only is he contributing between 7 and 10 extra lethal hitting power weapon attacks to the squad, he's also giving the squad critical hits on 5s, which means that 1 in 3 of your hit rolls are actually going to be lethals with those power weapons. So this is already sounding pretty good, but we can turn it up another notch. If we add a Castellan into the squad, we now have somewhere between 28 and 31 mastercrafted power weapon attacks that have lethal hits, are all hitting on 2s, critting the lethal hits on 5s, and the Castellan also lets you reroll 1s to hit. So no matter what happens, you can reroll all of your misses for an opportunity to hit or get more lethal hits. But the other half of the Castellan's rule is that yes, you reroll hits of 1, but if you successfully pass a leadership test, you reroll all hits, which now means that you can fish if you want to 4, 5s, and 6s to get as many lethal hits as possible. Against very tough stuff, it's a really great opportunity to basically just get your wounds in without having to roll for them. Obviously, we also want to use Accept Any Challenge no matter the odds to get the opportunity for +1 to wound against anything that is as tough as our strength or tougher. And after all that, this squad can probably destroy just about anything. The damage output is quite spectacular. I'm excited to give this a go. Obviously, this is a squad that's going to get targeted. If your opponent knows that they've got about 30 damage to power weapon attacks coming at them with lethal hits, never mind the other bits, they're still going to focus against that quite hard. But it's definitely a combo that I'm really quite excited to throw at like Norn Emissaries, Ghazghkull Thraka, stuff like that. They're definitely a unit that are going to do some serious work. So those are my top 3 kind of picks of really fun looking, powerful combinations in the new Templars Codex. This is after a first kind of look through all of the rules. If you've got some super stupid stuff that you found, please drop it in the comments, share your brilliant strategy with us, and let us know what other ridiculous things Templars are going to be up to in 10th edition. If you want to support me, the best way is to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill by now. All of that stuff helps support the channel. And if you really want to support me, you can use some of my affiliate codes in the description to buy stuff that you were going to buy for yourself anyway, from Element Games and from Warhammer Merch Official. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it gets me a little bit of commission, which really helps out. So thank you if you have been using those links. Other than that, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Join the Discord server if you're into that kind of thing. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.